Hey, this is JC. Welcome to Missed Again, where every missed shot is a lesson. It's not about perfect play, it's about my struggles and honest progress. In this video, I share a hybrid aiming method that might work for you, especially if you're struggling with aiming or are not sure where to shoot the cue ball. First, I'll offer 3 perspectives to consider when fine-tuning your aiming method. The first perspective is, there's technically no such thing as an aiming system. A system implies there's a precise method where you apply A and B to get C consistently. Rather, these aiming systems should be viewed as frameworks or reference guides to help you build up your instinctive aim. The second perspective is that most high-level players aim instinctively and by feel. This is developed over time and with lots of practice. Some people can get the feel naturally, but most do not. Hopefully, this video will help provide a foundational reference for developing instinctive aiming. And the final perspective, to borrow a phrase from Bruce Lee, no way is the way. There's no one way to do something. This is because we're all different. We're physically different. Our body mechanics and hand-eye coordination are all different. We all learn differently. Some learn by watching, some by thinking about it and visualizing, and some by doing. So no way is the way. No one method works for everyone. The hybrid aiming method I'm sharing here is not the only way of aiming, but it may be the one way that works for you. Let's start off with 2 common aiming methods, and then I'll explain how the hybrid method may work for you. But I should mention that I'll be making 2 assumptions for the sake of this video discussion. The first is, I assume that your stroke is smooth and straight, and you can shoot the cue ball where you're aiming to. Next, this video will not be discussing side spin or the effects of cut-induced throw. All shots will be center ball hits. The first aiming method is the ghost ball method. If you learned pool or were taught pool in the last 20 years or so, you probably would have been introduced to this method. In this case, we want to pot the 9 ball, and what we have is the cue ball here, and you want to visualize where the cue ball will end up to contact the 9 ball for it to be pocketed. So in your mind, you visualize where the cue ball should be to get the 9 ball in. This visualized ball is the ghost ball in your mind. It's not really there, but you visualize it. And then when you get down on the shot, you aim at the ghost ball in order to pocket the 9 ball. There are several pros of the ghost ball method, and one of them is that it's very easy to understand the basic concept of aiming and contact point in order to pocket a ball. As such, it's a great introduction to beginners on how to conceptually pocket a cue ball, because these are circles. There's a difference between the contact point and aiming point. The cons are that it is hard to visualize a ghost ball, especially for thin cuts or long shots. Some people have trouble visualizing the ghost ball in any situation. Due to these challenges, the ghost ball method can be inconsistent and unreliable. The next method we'll look at is fractional aiming. This is the traditional way snooker players are taught to aim, and it's still widely used today. Unlike the ghost ball method, fractional aiming doesn't rely on visualizing an imaginary ball. That's important because in snooker, the level of precision needed is much higher than in pool. With fractional aiming, the idea is simple. Every shot can be broken down into angles. You need to learn these different angles and then match them to a specific aiming point on the object ball. Those aiming points fall on different fractions of the object ball. Half ball, 3/4 ball, 1/4 ball, and so on. That's where the name fractional aiming comes from. Let's look at some of the different critical angles. This is a full ball hit with a 0-degree angle cut. This is a half ball hit, which is approximately a 30-degree cut from the right. This is a quarter ball hit, or roughly 45-degree to 50-degree cut from the right. This is a 3/4 ball hit, or approximately 15-degree cut angle from the right. This is also a half ball hit, approximately 30-degree cut angle from the left. This is a 1/4 ball hit, approximately 45 degrees to 50 degrees at a cut angle from the left. And this is a 3/4 ball hit, or 15-degree cut angle from the left. Naturally, there are more than these 7 angles, but you can use these as your starting reference points and adjust your aim based on in-between or outside angles. The good thing about pool is that you have a certain margin of error due to the size of the pockets. So now comes the practical application, where to aim for each of the cut angles. For a full ball hit, which is a 0-degree cut, aim for the center of the object ball. For a half ball hit, which is approximately a 30-degree cut, aim at the edge of the object ball. If you're shooting from the right here, it would be on the left edge of the object ball. For a 1/4 ball hit, which is a 45-degree to 50-degree cut angle, aim outside the object ball about 1/4 ball past its edge. Once again, if you're shooting from the right, it will be the left edge of the object ball. For a 3/4 ball hit, which is approximately a 15-degree cut angle, aim 1/4 off center. The same would apply if you're shooting from the left, but remember to aim on the right edge of the object ball. Naturally, for in-between or outside angles, you will have to find the right aiming point on your own, but these 7 reference points will be your foundational baseline. With this basic understanding of fractional aiming, you now need to hit the table and practice identifying the different cut angles and the right aiming points. Now let's have a look at the hybrid aiming method that puts both aiming methods together. Starts by using the ghost ball to visualize where the cue ball should strike the object ball. This gives you a quick reference to the contact point. From there, check whether that contact looks like a half ball hit, a 3/4 hit, a quarter ball hit, or something in between. That's where the fractional aiming method comes in. It helps you refine the exact fraction of the ball you need to hit. The two methods naturally overlap on straightened shots, but on thin or tricky cuts, fractional aiming gives you the precise aiming point, whether on the object ball itself or even off its edge. By layering these two systems together, you get both the big picture guidance of the ghost ball and the fine-tuned accuracy of fractional aiming. This overlap not only confirms your aim, but also gives you more confidence when you step into the shot. With enough repetition and practice from different angles, your aiming will become instinctive. And whenever you're unsure, use the hybrid method. It's a reliable way to reset, confirm, and execute the shot. Well, that's it. I hope you find this video helpful. If you're struggling with aiming, try this hybrid aiming method. I suspect there'll be some who do not believe in any kind of aiming method or insist there is only one way. Or you often hear advice like, just go out and play and hit the ball 10,000 times. While seemingly sound, this advice is not really useful for beginners or advanced beginners. Because without a guide or reference starting point, you could just be hitting the ball 10,000 times wrongly, and eventually you get very good at missing the ball. Learning by brute force and repetition is also not the only way to learn now. With the availability of instructional videos and instructors both offline and online, we live in a time where the learning curve for many skills can be shortened compared to 20 or 30 years ago. Learning the fundamentals and best practices is the most logical starting point for most players. It gives you the strongest chance of making steady progress and improvement, while building an essential baseline to grow from. Once you reach an intermediate or advanced level, that's when you can begin experimenting and discovering what works best for your individual style. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Every miss makes us better, so let's grow together. My name is JC. Try not to miss again.